They say love comes in unexpected forms: a mother, a friend, a stranger, or even a creature of another kind. When a storm tore a family apart, a tiny German Shepherd puppy found warmth not in his own kind, but beneath the fragile body of an old donkey. What began as one night of shelter turned into a lifetime of love, loyalty, and sacrifice. The night sky was torn apart by thunder. Rain poured in sheets, drumming against the wooden barn roof with relentless force. A German Shepherd mother huddled with her litter of tiny pups, trying desperately to shield them from the cold wind that sliced through every crack of the structure. But nature showed no mercy. A sudden gust rattled the old door, flinging it open. In the chaos, one puppy, the smallest of the litter, was swept into the muddy yard. His mother barked and lunged, but another crash of thunder startled her. Fear froze her momentarily, and by the time she bolted out, the tiny pup was nowhere to be seen. The little German Shepherd pup shivered, his small body drenched, his eyes wide with terror. The storm swallowed his cries. Lightning illuminated the empty fields, and in the flash of light, he realized he was alone. He stumbled, paused, sinking into the mud, his heart pounding not just from the cold, but from the loneliness that wrapped around him like the storm itself. The puppy's legs wobbled as he staggered forward, searching desperately for warmth, for his mother's scent. His whimpers echoed in the vast, empty night. Then, through the curtain of rain, he saw a shadow. Tall, still, and unfamiliar. It was an old donkey, his back hunched, his ribs faintly visible beneath his wet coat. The donkey had been tethered near a half-collapsed shed, abandoned for the night by careless owners. His ears twitched as the puppy stumbled closer. At first, the donkey simply stared. What use did he have for a small, helpless creature? He had endured storms alone for years. Yet when the puppy whimpered again, the sound pierced through the donkey's tired heart. He bent his head low, letting his warm breath brush against the trembling pup. With slow, deliberate steps, the donkey shifted his body, curling slightly to shield the pup beneath him. The puppy, sensing warmth for the first time that night, nestled into the donkey's side. The rhythm of the donkey's breathing soothed him until, despite the thunder, his eyes finally closed. That night, as the storm raged, two lost souls, one at the beginning of life, the other nearing its weary end, found comfort in each other. Morning arrived. The rain had stopped, leaving behind the smell of wet earth and broken branches scattered across the fields. The puppy woke slowly, blinking in confusion until he felt the soft warmth of the donkey's side. For the first time since the storm, he didn't feel afraid. He yawned, tiny teeth flashing, and wagged his tail weakly. The donkey lowered his head to sniff him. The old animal had no milk to give, no gentle paw to clean him, but he had something else: patience. The puppy followed him clumsily as he moved toward the pasture. Whenever the ground grew too uneven, the donkey paused, waiting for the pup to catch up. Though the donkey had lived most of his life in silence, he began to bray softly, guiding the little one as though calling out, "Stay close, don't be afraid." That morning marked the beginning of something neither of them expected, a bond deeper than survival. Days turned into weeks. The German Shepherd puppy grew stronger. He learned to lap water from puddles, to nibble on scraps left behind. Yet more than food, he fed on companionship. The donkey taught him stillness, how to wait under the shade of a tree during scorching afternoons, how to listen to the whispers of the wind that signaled oncoming storms. The puppy, in turn, taught the donkey something the old creature thought he had lost: joy. He barked at butterflies, chased after falling leaves, and curled up beside the donkey every night. The donkey's once lonely heart began to beat with warmth again. When strangers passed near the pasture, the puppy barked fiercely, standing between the donkey and danger. The donkey would nudge him gently, proud of his bravery. Months passed. The once tiny pup had grown taller, his legs sturdy, his bark deeper. He was no longer the helpless creature rescued in the storm. Now he was the protector. One night, thieves crept into the field, their eyes on the donkey. Old and slow, the donkey was of little value to many. But for the thieves, he was still a prize to sell. As they approached with ropes, the German shepherd erupted into fierce barking. His teeth gleamed in the moonlight, his growls shaking the silence of the night. Startled, the thieves cursed and fled, unwilling to risk injury for an old donkey. The donkey, wide-eyed, looked at his young companion. For the first time in years, he felt safe. Not because of chains, not because of fences, but because someone loved him enough to fight for him. Time is never kind. As seasons changed, the donkey's body grew weaker. His once steady legs trembled under the weight of each step. His eyes, once alert, now clouded with a milky haze. The puppy noticed. He would bark louder to guide the donkey when shadows blurred his vision. He would nudge him gently away from ditches, lick his tired legs, and lie beside him when the old animal was too weary to move. Where once the donkey had given shelter, now the puppy gave guidance. Their roles had shifted, but their bond remained unshaken. They never spoke the same language, yet they understood each other more deeply than words could ever express. The donkey would lower his head whenever the puppy barked in alarm, trusting him fully. The puppy, in turn, would curl tightly against the donkey on cold nights, his body a small furnace of loyalty. Passers-by often stopped, puzzled by the sight of a dog and donkey together. But for the two of them, it was simple. They were family. The winter came harsh and bitter. Snow blanketed the fields, and the donkey's breaths grew shallow, each one fogging in the cold air. He lay down more often, his body too frail to rise. The German shepherd, no longer a puppy but still the same loyal soul, stayed beside him day and night. He fetched sticks of wood, barked until farmers noticed and brought hay, and licked the donkey's face whenever his eyes closed too long. One evening, as the sun dipped low, the donkey rested his head gently against the dog. His eyes, clouded with age, looked at his companion with something eternal. The puppy whimpered, sensing the weight of goodbye. The donkey had given him warmth once, on a stormy night when he was lost and afraid. Now, as life slipped away, the donkey gave him one last gift, the memory of love that outlives even death. When the donkey passed, the fields felt emptier than ever. The German shepherd howled, his cries echoing across the valley. Yet he did not run away. He lay beside his friend, guarding him one last time, as he had always done. From that day on, the dog roamed the same fields, watching over the land, as though keeping alive the spirit of the one who had once sheltered him. People who passed by often saw him sitting quietly under the same tree where he and the donkey once rested. He was no longer the lost puppy from the storm. He had grown into strength, into loyalty, into love. All because one old donkey had given him shelter for a single night. And that was enough to change both their lives forever.